Nation Sports Show. Tonight on the Nation Sports Show, we give our analysis on Week 2 in the National Football League. There were some shocking upsets and some close games that could have gone either way. Also, there were some significant injuries that took place during the second week in the National Football League. Also tonight, we bring to you our Week 3 prediction battles. It's showtime.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. When it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast, that means the sports show is live. Because right now, I am live right here on YouTube for another edition of our Nation Sports Show right here on the World Wide Web, here on YouTube.com. What is going on, everybody? I am your host for this evening, Stephen Wyand. Unfortunately, Ezra Vicker will not be here on the show tonight due to being out of town today, and he'll be back on the show with us next week. And Joey will not be on with us tonight. He has some things to take care of, but don't worry, we will have their scores for our prediction battles in about an hour or so. So, Kevin Roy will be joining me here in a little bit to talk about Week 2 in the NFL, and also we're going to be doing our pick segment, our favorite segment of them all, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So, but before we get to all of the sports festivities, we have to plug the social media platforms. Up first on Twitter or X at @ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we are live right now for our Nation Sports Show, where I am hosting this evening on YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff with all your family and your friends that love the world of sports. And also don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook at Nation's Corner, and YouTube at The Nation's Corner, where the guys and gals talk about all things professional wrestling at youtube.com/The Nation's Corner, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Well. The NFL Week 2 came and went, and boy, oh boy, there were some crazy games that went on during Week 2 in the NFL. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely unbelievable how, like in Week 2 and on a week-to-week basis, it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter if you're good one week or bad the next week. You have to play all 60 minutes. And there were some games this week that were very telling. And I mean, from the first game on Thursday Night Football, you had the Bills beating the Dolphins 31-10. I mean, this was a bloodbath. Tua Tagovailoa threw a couple of ugly interceptions in this game, and the Dolphins offense could not get things going. I mean, that Buffalo Bills defense was smothering in this game. Tua at one point left the game with a concussion. I mean, me and Joey were talking about it earlier today. Tua is very concussion, prone. He always gets to be. He gets himself in these situations where he puts his body at risk, to get injured. I mean, and unfortunately, the the injury bug, continues to bite him. I mean, when you look at what's going on with this offense, I mean, Tua is so up and down, so inconsistent because of his injuries and stuff. And just when he's healthy, obviously he is one of the best quarterbacks to play. But in situations like this, where he's getting concussions in these games and he's not playing, or being able to stay on the field, it's why the Dolphins continue to put themselves in bad situations like this. And we said it here on the sports show in the summer when Tagovailoa got his contract. We're like, if he could stay healthy, yeah, he deserves the money. But if you're having to pay him the boatload of money that they're paying him and he's not going to be on the field with them, what the hell was the reason to give him that max contract? I mean, I love Tua's play. He's a great player when he's healthy. But, I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, this team, they're so up and down because of Tua's play. When he's not on the field, this team is not going to be good. And they had to go to the backup situation and get Skylar Thompson in the game. And obviously, he's no Tua Tagovailoa is Thompson. He struggled in this game. And just, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Some of these score names are coming in for Joey. This is great. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be writing these down. This is great. Love it, love it, love it, love it. This is great. Anyways, folks, the New York AA Rons. Oh, I freaking love it. I freaking love it. The New York AA Rons. Oh, fucking hell. Kevin's been known to do this a time or two on the show. It's great. It's great. It's great. We're gonna get to these at the top of there, like I said. But anyways, like I was saying, I mean, just it's insane because again, when Tua is healthy, this team, they can go places into the playoffs, but when you have when you have a concussion prone quarterback in Tua, you're not going to go very far. It really is crazy because like he gets paid this contract and we're all going, it's great for him if he's healthy, but when he's not healthy, it's result like this. It is absolute results like this. Oh my God, these names. Fucking hell, this is great. Oh, this is fucking brilliant with these names. Oh my God. Anyways, folks, I'm getting sidetracked because of these names. This is phenomenal. But anyways, Josh Allen played pretty well in this game. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the weaponry that he had a couple years ago in Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, but man, he's using his legs and he's using that running game that the Bills have now and using it to its full advantage. And just this team pummeled Miami. I mean, this is going back to the 23 season or 22 season, I should say, for the most part, because Buffalo has had Miami's number. Tua's kryptonite is the Buffalo Bills. And it showed. It definitely showed. It definitely showed. So if you're a Miami fan, you need to be concerned. You need to be concerned because the schedule for Miami does not get easy. And moving on here to the other games that took place over the weekend. Going down, we had obviously the Bills beating the Dolphins 31-10. The Vikings beating San Francisco 23-17. This was one of the stunning upsets of week 2. I mean, Sam Darnold played a phenomenal game against his former team in San Francisco. I mean, he had an outstanding game. And that Niners defense was just picked apart. That did not look like the typical San Francisco defense that has been dominant for the last several seasons. I mean, Justin Jefferson won a 97-yard touchdown reception, 4 catches, 133 yards, and that touchdown. That's all he needed was that 197-yarder to basically put him over 100 yards almost. I mean, you cannot leave Justin Jefferson that wide open. And the one problem with San Francisco, now during week 1, obviously they played great against the Jets. They had the majority of their roster was, not decimated by injuries except for Christian McCaffrey, who was not playing in that game. But boy, oh boy, did the freaking score, or did the scoring not come in this game for San Francisco really like it was in the last game against the Jets? Because in this game, Brock Purdy was not playing the best, and Debo got nipped up in the game with a calf injury, and Nick Bosa at one point got injured in this game, and obviously Christian McCaffrey did not play. I mean, if you are the San Francisco 49ers, this is basically deja vu all over again. Because when they last made the Super Bowl in 2019-2020 season, the next year, during the COVID season, where there was hardly no fans at these games, the injury bug bit San Francisco in the ass. And obviously Jimmy Garoppolo went out with an injury during that year, and Bosa, and I mean, just countless injuries bit San Francisco when it hurt the most. And they're biting them again. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is going to be out for multiple weeks. Deebo Samuel is going to be out for a couple of weeks with the calf injury. And I mean, it's crazy. I mean, now they're having to rely not just on Jordan Mason, the running back, but now they're having to rely on, other players, that are not well known to lead them to victory. And adversity San Francisco is facing right now. And I hope that San Francisco, as a fan of the 49ers, I hope they can get it together. But man, it's just good. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All right. And Ezra has sent in his scores just now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Sam Darnold during that game for the Vikings played great. And the Niners, they're hitting, they're struggling. They're struggling. They are struggling. And I know it's only week 2, but man, you can't help but have these reactions. And I mean, just the way that San Francisco was playing last week was phenomenal. And this week, they looked lost. This was not the same team that played great during last week against the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Anyways, thank you for those scores. Got those written down in my notes. Anyways, folks, moving on to the rest of the box scores. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Patriots in overtime, 26-20. Geno Smith had another pretty solid game in this game against the Patriots defense, and pretty well. And the running back Walker did not play in this game; he was out with an injury. Another score right here. We have the Commanders field goal the Giants to death, 21-18. This was a weird game if you're the Giants. Because Gano, the Giants kicker, went out with a hamstring injury on the kickoff of all things. And the Giants had no kicker the rest of the game. And it was a wild sequence, and Jaden Daniels, got to give the kid credit. He did make some plays. I will give him that. He did make some plays. But if you're going to be a professional player, at this day and age, especially being a rookie, of course you're going to make mistakes. But Jaden Daniels in this game, he did make some plays, but he did make some questionable throws and questionable decisions that could have cost his team a victory. But this is the Giants they were playing. Daniel Jones and that offense, man, they can't get nothing done. And their defense is just hot garbage. Daniel Jones, he's You pay Danny Dimes all that kind of money, and we're all of us here on the show when we host, we still talk about this to this very day. Why the hell you paying him that kind of money? And you could have paid that to Saquon Barkley. No wonder he walked. But anyways, moving on down the schedule from this past week. The Jets got their first victory with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, 24-17 against the Tennessee Titans. And Aaron Rodgers, man, during this game at times, that looked like the old Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers during this game was I think, getting into a groove. Maybe it was a New York groove, but I digress. He was definitely back in a New York groove. But anyways, Aaron Rodgers in this game during this game, and Kevin pointed this out in our chat a couple of days ago during the Sunday portion of the schedule. He said he uncorked a beautiful long ball. And when Aaron is on his game, that team is going to be, that team is going to be something if he can stay healthy and if he can find a groove. But anyways, folks, yes, the Tennessee Titans, they are clearly struggling without their running back, Derrick Henry, and Will Levis is still playing like a young quarterback. Will Levis is not great right now during these several starts he's had since last year and this year so far. Just the inconsistency of his quarterback playing is just very telling. Missing throws and interceptions thrown left and right. This is why, if you're Tennessee, Derrick Henry was your best player to keep, and not signing him to a long-term deal or getting him for a couple of more years, that was your offense. And now that the king is gone to Baltimore, and don't you worry, we're going to get to Baltimore here in a little bit. But when I look at this Tennessee team is not where they need to be right now. And the biggest problem that they have is their quarterback problem. They do not have a true number one quarterback. They do not. And it's very telling. It's very telling. Moving on down the schedule, the Chargers absolutely beat the living bejesus out of the Panthers. And I was wrong by the Panthers score for one reason. I predicted a shutout. They scored 3 freaking points. The Chargers beat the Panthers 26-3. Ugh. This Panthers team is horrible. I mean, Bryce Young was the first overall pick last year in the 23 draft. And they just cannot seem to get it together. Crazy, 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 crazy. I mean, this team looks lost. They look lost because, well, let's face it, David Tepper is the worst NFL owner in history. He is the absolute worst. He is not a good owner. He does not know how to run a team. Oh, wait, he does. He knows how to run a team straight into the freaking ground. Not good. Not good at all. I mean, Bryce Young, since his rookie season last year and the first two games of this season, missing throws, not reading the defense good at all. I mean, good Lord. I could be a better quarterback than him. And I can't see. I cannot see. Worth the crap. But when I look at this team, there's a lot of problems. Their defense is not good. Their defense isn't good. Offense is horrible. The offensive line is trash. I mean, I could keep going. I mean, but I won't bore you to death because it's the Panthers we're talking about, for goodness sakes. This team is complete hot garbage because of David Tepper. He has ran this organization since Jerry Richardson got put the team up for sale, and David Tepper picked the team up, and now he's ran this organization into the freaking ground. This is not the same Panthers organization. Hell, this Panthers organization was better off 10 years ago. They weren't this bad. Now they are this bad. I mean, good grief. Good grief, this team is horrible. And Bryce Young, this team is horrible. They can't get it done. They can't get it done. Give me a second, folks. Anyways, folks, moving on down the schedule, we have, and I just brought this game up before, I'll bring it up now. The Baltimore Ravens absolutely laid a massive egg. Laid a massive egg against the Las Vegas Raiders at home. This team has, at times, will shoot themselves in the foot at the worst possible scenarios. I mean, just, my goodness gracious. This team, they're still, and Joey and I talked about this again earlier today. Derrick Henry has not been great during the first couple of games, and I get it. You're still trying to find your footing, with the new team, because you just joined him in the offseason. But this team is still trying to find their identity with him now. Just not good. Not good. Not good. I mean, if you are the Baltimore Ravens, you could have not afforded to lose that game against the Raiders on Sunday against the Raiders. I mean, that team looks lost already. Unreal. Unreal. I mean, just Lamar Jackson and this team the schedule is not going to get any easier, folks. I mean, because they're going to be playing the Cowboys in week 3. And oh, don't you worry, we're going to get to them Cowboys here in a little bit. But back to Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore had every opportunity to put this game out of reach. Out of reach. Every opportunity to put this game out of reach. It is just crazy. I mean, my goodness. I mean, just if you're Baltimore and you were at that game, if you were a fan of Baltimore and you were at that game, you're sick to your stomach, for having to sit there and witness that, because you're like, really? This is deja vu all over again. And Ravens fans, they know that feeling all too well. I mean, having these 10-point leads, these double-digit leads, and just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyways, moving on down the schedule, and I just brought up the Cowboys. The Saints absolutely crushed the Cowboys on the road, 44-19. No, I did not stutter, folks. 44-19 on the road. The Saints scored on their first 6 drives, all touchdowns. 80, 70, 70, 70, 20, and 69 yards. 4 of those 6 drives were 69 yards or more. This Cowboys defense is absolutely horrible right now. I mean, they are not playing great at all. And I am not going to put this loss on Dak Prescott. This is not his fault. I mean, because give credit to the Cowboys, they scored on their first 5 drives, and 3 of the drives were field goals. But points are points. When you are putting up a lackluster performance on the defensive side of the football, you have to keep teams in the game if you take a punch. And they took a haymaker thrown by New Orleans. Got to give credit to New Orleans, because during the first 2 weeks so far, they're looking really good. Derek Carr has played 2 great weeks in a row. He hasn't turned the ball over like he did last year. And that offense looked really, really good against this Cowboys defense. I mean, the Cowboys defense cannot cover the broadside of a barn, and their lives are on the line. I mean, this team was playing so bad. It looked like that Green Bay game during the playoffs last year when Green Bay slapped them around. Don't let that final score fool you, 45 or 48, whatever it was, 47, 48-32. Wasn't even close. Anyways, I mean, if you're Dallas, you better get it together, because like Baltimore, their schedule doesn't get easy, and those teams will clash in week 3 this Sunday at the Big D. And moving on down the schedule, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on the road to Detroit Rock City and beat the Lions. And I got the score correct, 20-16, but I picked the Lions to beat the Bucs. But the Bucs played really well on the defensive side of the football. Jared Goff had a couple of interceptions in this game. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and company are rolling right now. And that is a team. If Baker Mayfield and the rest of this offense can get hot during the rest of this season and they can play consistent football, that is a team. Even if the Saints do play great the rest of the year, I would not want to play Tampa Bay, because Tampa's defense right now is playing really good. I love their offense. Their offense is very deadly. And Baker Mayfield, I mean, got to give that dude a lot of credit. I mean, he took the Browns to the playoffs. Then he leaves Cleveland, goes to the Rams. Didn't have a great run with them. Then he comes to Tampa Bay, and he has found a home with the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is a very, very interesting team, because the Bucs, the weaponry that they have, with Evans obviously the number 1 receiver, Godwin at the number 2, so on and so forth, this team is going to be hard to deal with as the season goes along. I would not want to play the Bucks if they keep playing this good. And also, got to give credit to their defense for stopping this Detroit offense, because this Detroit offense last week against the Rams played really, really well. So I got to give the Bucks defense a lot of credit for stopping this high octane offense and stopping them. Obviously, going down the scores here again. Speaking of, see here the scores. Green Bay beat the Colts 16-10. This was very surprising because obviously Jordan Love is not active right now. He is dealing with a sprained MCL. Right now, he'll be out for at least a couple of weeks. Hopefully, he'll be back for Green Bay and their fans. Cleveland beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 18-13. And please, like Kevin has said in our chat and here on this show, can we start calling Trevor Lawrence a bust right now? Because Trevor Lawrence is not playing good football at all. And speaking of, I just brought him up. Joining me right now, K-Rod, Kevin Warrior. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on, everybody out there?
So, dude, just to bring it, I was just talking about real quick the Cowboys, them getting their asses whipped against the Saints, and I just brought up now the Jags losing to the Browns 18-13. I mean,
oh my God!
Brought up a great point, dude. I'll let you get to your point.
Okay.
Talking about give you a couple things to talk about. The Cowboys game, the Jags game, but the thing that hit home with me, that you said this in our chat on Facebook, Trevor Lawrence has not been playing good since a couple years ago. And can we start calling him a bust? I think we can.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence he's officially going to be a bust. I mean, he's played mid. He's had a couple of promising games, but about 75% games he's been subpar, mid, crap, and I don't want to hear any excuses. They drafted Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU in the first round, a wide receiver. You went out and signed Gabe Davis, who's been Josh Allen's one of his favorite targets in Buffalo, a proven wide receiver. You still got Christian Kirk. You still got Travis Etienne. You still got a decent offensive line. So what is the problem? And I'll give you another stat that makes you scratch your head. Trevor Lawrence in his career is 0-19 when his defense doesn't force a turnover. You can't play quarterback like that. Sometimes you got to go out there and just outscore teams. Sometimes you've got to put the teams on the back and have one of them 55-51 type games. Sometimes you can't depend on getting the ball on a short field like the Dallas Cowboys. But you can't depend on that. You got to go out there and actually score. You can't depend on your defense. Sometimes you got to step forward and play ball. And Trevor Lawrence has not proven that since he's came to the league. His money, again, he's getting paid for what he did in the past in college, not the NFL.
Right. Now, and also talking about the Cowboys and Saints, I mean, the Saints absolutely made this Cowboys defense look fucking putrid. They couldn't stop the broad side of a barn. I mean, the Saints' first 6 scoring drives they scored on, all of them were touchdown drives, and I gave the numbers earlier. 80, 70, 70, 70, 20, 69. 4 out of the 6 drives were 69 yards or longer.
Yep, and the Cowboys' Achilles heel continues to be their Achilles heel. They cannot stop the run. They get behind in the sticks. They're not able to let them damn pass rushers just get after the quarterback because all the other team's doing is just running the ball right down their damn throats. And I failed to mention this in the preseason predictions and like our thoughts on the teams and stuff like that, but the Saints added a very intriguing piece that I just remembered a week ago, and this might be why their offense is doing what their offense is. I'll give you one name, Clint Kubiak. The reason why that name is intriguing is because he come from the Kyle Shanahan San Francisco system. He was the 49ers pass game coordinator under Kyle Shanahan. Now, we know what happens with off coaches that come from the Shanahan system. Sean McVay, look what the offense they run out in LA when they're healthy. They got a damn hospital crisis now. But Matt LaFleur, Green Bay, look what the offense they run. Another one, Houston Texans last year. Bobby Slowick was the previous pass game coordinator for the 49ers. And guess what he did? He went to Houston, and that whole offense was dynamic. I mean, C.J. Stroud had a part of it, but you know what? That offense did a whole 360 between C.J. Stroud and the Shanahan system zone scheme, done a 360. And now the Saints this year, I mean, the first game you kind of overlook it because it's Carolina. I mean, I think a Pee Wee football team can beat them, but that's why nobody thought about it. But the Cowboys, and here's the X factor about it, Steven. The Cowboys had failed to stop the Shanahan system, and that's all they do is they can't stop the Shanahan system. And the reason why I say that is anybody that runs that system, like I just said, Matt LaFleur. What happened to Green Bay last year? Green Bay ran right down their damn throats using the same system that Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers use. What happens when the 49ers play the Cowboys? Same result. What happened when the Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon ran down their damn throats? The same system. Ran the same damn system. That outside zone scheme is what teams are running in the NFL these days. And the Cowboys, just like Dan Orlovsky said, I will never trust them until they can prove they can beat that run scheme. Because as long as they can't beat that run scheme, teams that run that scheme, a la Houston Texans, San Francisco, Green Bay, LA if they get healthy, the New Orleans Saints, anybody that runs that system, Mike McDaniels in Miami, anybody that runs that system is going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. And that's just the way it is because of the way the scheme is set up. I don't know what it is. Dallas cannot stop it. I don't know why. I don't know how. They just cannot stop it. And I'll give you another interesting stat. I don't know what it is with Alvin Kamara and Mike Zimmer. He must hate Mike Zimmer because I'll give you another interesting stat. The last time Alvin Kamara played a Mike Zimmer-led team or defense, he scored 5 touchdowns on Thanksgiving Day against the Minnesota Vikings those years ago against Mike Zimmer. He has 3 games against Mike Zimmer, and he's had over 500 yards, all-purpose yards, and 12 touchdowns. What? Mike Zimmer is awful. I don't know what he did to Alvin Kamara if he Pistons Cheerios, but he has 500 yards in 3 games and 12 touchdowns against Mike Zimmer's defense. I just hope Cowboys just better hope they don't see him again in the playoffs.
Dude, you're gonna love some of these names because I got the scores written down. You're gonna love some of these names that Joey came up with. It's freaking brilliant.
Oh dear Lord!
But
yeah, but then again, here's where I go. Was the defense part of the problem? Yes. Was it the majority of the problem? Yes. But just like Shannon Sharp said, you know what, Dak? You can score too. You get paid $60 million. You go throw touchdowns. Make this a 50-50 game. Why can't you score at the same pace? You get paid all that money. CeeDee Lamb got all that money. Why aren't y'all playing at the same pace? We're not talking about the Saints being a top tier defense. So why ain't you just go and score for score with them? I mean, you could score too now, Dak. You ain't got to just sit there and just like the Trevor Lawrence depend on your damn defense to give you short field yardage and stuff. Go score. Sometimes you have to score.
That's right.
And Dak did not. He threw interceptions. He fumbled the damn ball. CD was getting hit all over. He couldn't even see the end zone after the first quarter because they were popping him. It's just ugly right now. And anytime Dallas plays them, and I'll give you an interesting stat too. Cowboy fans, turn your head because you know what? 5 out of your next 7 opponents all run the Shanahan system. You got Detroit who runs the Shanahan system with Ben Johnson. You got the San Francisco who obviously runs the Shanahan system. You got the Houston Texans who run the Shanahan system. So Dallas, good luck.
Speaking of, moving on down the scores here, some of this noticeable games. We'll get the trash ones out of the way. Here we go. Steelers beat the Broncos 13-6. Packers, like I
We'll
said,
see.
Packers beat the Colts 16-10.
Big missed opportunity in that game.
Yep. Cardinals absolutely destroyed the Rams 41-10. And Kevin, you were spot on with your pick on this game.
Yep. I know. I've seen it last year. People called me crazy, and I've had Washington fans, not Joey, other Washington fans on my Facebook called me crazy because I said Arizona would beat Washington. No offense, Joey, but I called that. They called me crazy. Oh, Arizona stinks, dude. Last year they showed promise, especially when Kyler Murray came back. Now you add a legit wide receiver one on that team for Kyler Murray. He's back in the system. He's rolling. Jonathan Gannon running the football with James Conner. They are set up to give fits, and I predicted them not to be last in the NFC West because of that. I don't know who is. It might be the Rams now because of, I mean, hell, half their whole organization's in an infirmary because everybody's hurt and on IR. So they're about to field a practice squad as a football team. So they might end up in last. I don't know. We shall see. That's for another discussion. But Arizona looked good, man. Kyler Murray made some good throws, pretty impressive throws, made some great plays. I mean, we might be getting a MVP Kyler Murray from 2021, and that's a scary sight. And as a 49er fan, I'd hate to see it. I don't want to play. I'd face them. I'd rather face the Rams than to face the Cardinals right now.
Right. Moving on down the schedule. Real quick before I keep moving down the schedule, give your thoughts on the Bucks and the Lions because the Bucks defense looked really good in this game.
I tell you what, I never thought in my wildest imagination I would be excited for the NFC South for one reason, not the Panthers, by the way. I'm excited, dude. This Buccaneers defense has made life for that impressive Lions offense a living hell. And now, are we going to get a offense like the Saints that's explosive through 2 games? I know it's 2 games, but picture this: an offense that explosive versus a defense that is that dominant. The NFC South is going to be in a good place in the future, especially down the line in the regular season.
Oh yeah.
But I really changed my. I told you last week I changed my pick. I'm not impressed with Atlanta. We'll get to them later. I'm not impressed with them. I think they got a tough schedule, and I think if they got to go against the Saints, even though it's a division game, good luck scoring with the Saints if they keep scoring the way they do. And as far as the Bucks, good luck scoring on the Bucks.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the Panthers, real quick, they got their asses whooped 26-3. I'm so pissed about that for one reason because I was this close to a shutout. Anyways, Bryce Young obviously gets benched after 2 games this year and playing all games last year. He absolutely sucks. No questions about that. The Chiefs beat the Bengals 26-25. And this game, man, I felt so bad for Joe Burrow, man. He played a great game. And he still lost.
I have a thought on that.
Go
Just
ahead.
one little thought. Can we stop fucking throwing flags for the Chiefs? I mean, seriously. What is the defender on 4th and 16 supposed to do? I'm not debating is it a flag or is it not. Me personally, I don't think it's a flag, but I could see where the ref would say, yeah, he made contact instead of going for the ball first. But you know what? If you're going to call that, should have called it in the Super Bowl when Malcolm Butler picked off Russell Wilson because he was going for the ball but made contact with the receiver simultaneously. They didn't flag it, which I don't think it's a flag. I'm just saying, if you just be consistent. The refs wait until they see the ball go incomplete and throw the flag out of their pocket. Like, oh, we got to save Mahomes. Here you go. Throw the flag. First down. Chiefs ball. Come on, dude. Quit that shit. They're already getting enough help. They don't need help from the referees. But I really thought Joe Burrow really outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game. I mean, Mahomes,
I agree.
two interceptions, 152 yards. He was awful. I never thought I would see a world where Patrick Mahomes was god awful, but that game he was awful. Travis Kelce, what in the fuck is wrong with you? 5 yards receiving? I mean, he's not even in the top 20 tight ends receiving this season. And though it is only 2 weeks, I mean, he's nowhere close. I think he only has 40 yards total in 2 games, which is what are we doing? I mean, good God. I like Rashee Rice and I like Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs, but your bread and butter is through Travis Kelce. And as long as you quit going to Travis Kelce, I think your offense struggles. The Chiefs really, in a way, could be 0-2 right now. They just better thank the grace of God and the grace of Taylor Swift that they're 2-0 and not 0-2 because they had a real shot of being 0-2 right now.
It's a good point. Moving on down the sketch, and I did talk about this previously, but I know you got some thoughts on this one. The Baltimore Ravens blew another home game in the first game of 2024. Already first blown game at home for the Ravens against the Las Vegas Raiders. This was a complete surprise.
I just want to know what in the fuck is Baltimore. They did it in the first game and they're doing it again. Why aren't they using Derrick Henry? You go out and get one of the most prolific backs, hard-nosed, physical running backs in football, and you barely use him. You still run Lamar Jackson like he's a damn running back. Cut it out. Run the damn ball. You think by now, after they choked in the AFC Championship game by trying to throw a million passes, run the fucking ball, dude. You're not a passing team. You're not gonna be a passing team. Just run the ball. I mean, simple. Run the ball.
You're not wrong. I mean, you bring him to this team, you lure him away from Tennessee, excuse me, and use him. He's the best running back that you have on your roster in God knows how long. Use your new toy. Use him. Use him. Run him down every other defense's throats because Derrick Henry is the best at doing that. He can run over 8 people in the box. That's how good
he
he
can wear
is.
down a defense, and that's what you want, is a big back who can punish defenses and wear them down.
Exactly.
They're just not using them properly. I don't know what John Harbaugh and company's got going on, but come on, dude. Got to use Derrick Henry.
Man, I have no idea. I have no idea what this team. And speaking of having no freaking idea, what in the blue hell is going on in Philadelphia? Because my freaking God, you just pulled an Atlanta Falcons in front of the entire world against the Falcons.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley had a first down reception in his hands, and he dropped the damn ball.
Okay.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Philadelphia pulled the Atlanta Falcons, and Jalen Hurts pulled a Kirk Cousins. What is going on in this world? But here's my thoughts on it. I think this was solely on. Could Saquon could have caught that? Yes. Could Hurts have played a little better? Yes. But it is far from their fault. They did their part. This is solely on this soft ass defense that has been questionable for the last 2 years now since they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. This soft ass defense and this piss poor coaching, because on third and even if you weren't going to get the first, why didn't you just run the ball? You could have ran the clock down about 57 seconds left and still kick the field goal, just running the ball, sacrificing the down, just saying, you know what, take a knee, then kick the field goal. Then you got to run. The clock keeps running. They don't got timeouts. It's 50 seconds. You think Kirk Cousins then would drive the ball down the field in 50 seconds? Then again, that piss poor defense, you never know. But still, it's better than having a minute and 50 seconds on the clock. I mean, why didn't they just run the ball? Again, Nick Sirianni, what are you doing? And then you go for it and don't get it at the first of the game. And take the points. Quit. And then Vic Fangio. I love Vic Fangio in the past. San Francisco 49ers coordinator from that great 2012 football team defense. Dude, you're not coaching the 49ers. You don't have Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman and Justin Smith and Alden Smith, those phenomenal Hall of Fame type players, to stop the run. You have an Eagles defense with a bunch of sus players who can't stop the run. Quit playing two safeties behind. Stop playing quarters coverage. Quit playing two high safeties. Roll one of them fuckers in the box and help stop the run. What are you doing? Bijan looked like Christian McCaffrey out there, holes wide open, running for over 100. Hell, he had 80 yards in the first half. I mean, what can you stop the run? Jesus Christ, if you're not going to stop the run, I got bad news for you, Philadelphia. There's other teams in that division, cough, cough, the Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, who would be glad to run the fucking ball down your throats. And that's what's going to happen if you don't fix that run defense. You let Atlanta do it, for God's sakes. I mean, I can't imagine if damn Detroit or San Francisco or New Orleans running the ball with Kamara currently, what they're going to do to you. I mean, they're going to take you out. Fix your run defense, Philly. Your secondary is trash too. But first, start with the run. Just fix the run defense. Quit blowing. And you know what? This is Philadelphia's, I think they said, third or fourth blown lead in under 2 minutes in the last 2 years. They have blown 4 leads under the 2-minute warning in the last 2 years. That can't happen. That is solely on coaching. They're not getting coached right. I said it before the season, and I'll say it again. Nick Sirianni, your seat is hot, my friend, and it's the hottest it's gonna be.
That's very true. Lots of great points, Niner. I talked about it before you came on, but I know you're a big fan of the Niners. Give me your thoughts. And man, this is tough. You know, the injury bug has already bitten them. Coincidentally, this happened 5 years ago when they faced the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and they lost. And the next year, the injury bug bit them at the worst possible times. And right now, so far during the first 2 weeks, the injury bug has bitten San Francisco once again.
There are 3 things promised in life: death, taxes, and the 49ers struggling against Minnesota in Minneapolis. That's just 3 things that's a fact of life. But I'm a little bit more optimistic as a Niner fan than I was 5 years ago, because those injuries 5 years ago were season-ending injuries. Those were Nick Bosa, torn ACL, out for the season. Those were Raheem Mostert, fractured patella, out for the season. This ain't out for the season with these guys in San Francisco. Now, I know it's early and karma could come bite me right in the ass and somebody tear their Achilles. I hope that does not happen. But I'm hoping that the 49ers made the right decision putting Christian McCaffrey on IR, because there is a chance he comes back early, like next week or the week after, and tears his Achilles. So my logic is maybe if he just stays on out 4 or 5 weeks, it's fully healthy, and he's able to come in lock and loaded, ready to go middle of the season when it matters most. And that's what I'm hoping. And as far as Devo, he strained his calf, but Kyle Shanahan acts like it's not so serious. Like, he'll be back in 2 weeks. And the 49ers' next opponents are not trying to spit down on anybody, but a Rams team who the injury bug is 10 times worse. Like, they're missing 14 starters on the Rams. And also the New England Patriots, which I don't got many hopes for them, and they're in Santa Clara for that one. So, pretty 2 easy games. I think they should be able to handle without Debo. But as far as the Minnesota game, man, I don't know what it is, man. It's something about a 3-4 defense Kyle Shanahan cannot figure out. And as smart as he is, as much as an offensive guru he is, something about a 5-man front or a 3-4 defense Kyle Shanahan struggles with. And I'll give you another one. It ain't just Minnesota, Baltimore. 49ers struggled against that front. They run the same thing Minnesota does. They blitz out of a 5-man front. 2 athletic outside backers on the edge, 3 big boys inside. 49ers can't run on that. They don't think. So what does Kyle Shanahan want to do? Wants to throw the ball fucking 40-something times. That's not going to cut it. Brock's a good quarterback, but Ayuk is still not showing up. I don't know. There's an APB out for Brandon Ayuk because he gets $30 million, and now the guy has 2 catches last game. What are we – as a 49ers fan, that is infuriating. But looking back at some of the tape, I honestly get why Ayuk is not open. Here's my reasoning. Christian McCaffrey is the offensive player for of the year for a reason. This is why guys get open on the 49ers. So many people and so many heads are focused on Christian McCaffrey out the backfield. If even on a pass play, if he runs a route, guess what? Linebackers are coming up, which means it's open in the deep end of the field for Ayuk and Devo. Now that there's no Christian McCaffrey, linebackers are just dropping deep, and Ayuk ain't got nowhere open. Brock don't got nowhere open to throw the ball. Devo can't beat man coverage. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's a great zone beater and a great yak player, ball after run after catch. He cannot beat man-to-man coverage. We knew that from watching the Super Bowl. L'Jarius Sneed was all in his shit, and Devo could not get loose. He could not break free, and that was fucking our offense up. So what does Minnesota do? They follow the same strategic way. Oh, no McCaffrey, we're going to double Ayuk, play our backers deep, and man coverage on Devo so he's not open. Kittle had a great game. Kittle going to be Kittle. He's going to get separation. You can't stop George Kittle. He had 100 yards, touchdown. But I just don't know why we went away from the run. Jordan Mason, again, 5.7 per carry, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Why did we stop going to Jordan Mason? I don't understand. Kyle Shanahan has that tendency to get cute, and it always bites us in the ass when we're playing teams like that. On the road, not good. Not good at all. But there is optimism. They're coming back home, and hopefully they'll get healthy. Christian can rest that. And we're also on the cusp of Talanoa Hufanga might be making his return this Sunday. That is needed. Speaking of that, one last thing on this game. Now that I mentioned Talanoa Hufanga, that 97-yard touchdown bomb by Sam Darnold is unacceptable. You hear me? Unacceptable. Why in the hell are we not shading Mooney Ward to play Justin Jefferson? They've got no other receivers. Why is Mooney just playing one side of the field? He's your all-pro corner. If I'm Nick Sorensen, I want him to travel wherever Justin Jefferson goes, whether it's in the slot, whether it's outside, whether it's on the sideline, hell, whether if it's in the woman's locker room. I don't care. Follow Justin Jefferson. Why do we have two safeties on that play, one-on-one with Justin Jefferson? That is the biggest crock of crap I have ever seen. And you know what? It was the same play they ran last year against the 49ers with the slot cross, except this time Kirk Cousins didn't hit Jefferson deep. He hit the crosser, Addison, across the middle of the field. Holy crap, they ran the same concept again and again. It beat us. We got to be better than that. That's why we need Hufanga to come back. And you need to start traveling. If there's only one great receiver, you need to start putting Mooney Ward traveling with him wherever he goes on the field, because there's no reason for that touchdown. That was just bullshit.
Oh, man. Yeah, and also, again, running down the scores real quick, we also had on Sunday Night Football, we had the Texans beating the Bears 19-13. CJ Stroud looked pretty good in this game. Let's see. Again.
I will say one thing about that, though. The Bears got to do something, man. Their offense is atrocious. I swear they're not giving Caleb no time. They can't develop routes. Defense is playing good, but come on now. You've had 2 years. Fix the fucking offense. Hire you an offensive coach. I mean, just look at what New Orleans did. Dennis Allen is a piss poor head coach. We've seen that the last 3 years. He's been shit. All they did was get an offensive mind in there to call the offense, and look how it's changed their whole philosophy. Do that. Go get you an offensive mind to go call your team, like call your offense, Chicago. Let Elberfeld, whatever the head coach's name is, let him just worry about the defense. Get an offense of mine in there to call the offense. Simple.
I agree.
And I will also say that quarterback play has been completely screwed up this year. It is at an all-time low. I mean, I'm not saying quarterbacks suck. There's a lot of good quarterback play, but I believe this is a change of the era.
No, you're right.
It's
You're
back
right.
running the football. There's not no more 400-yard passers and 4 touchdown throwers. It's all running the football now.
Because Kurt Warner said it last night on the Monday Night Football radio broadcast on Westwood One with Kevin Harlan. He said, during the first 2 weeks so far, quarterbacks have been really struggling to throw this year so far. And he says it's the defense. It's, it's also, teams picking up on running the ball, and stuff like that, because you don't have to throw the ball 200, 300-yard games, to win games. As long as there's a W beside your name. That's all that freaking matters. I mean, look what
they're
Buffalo
trying to do. More guys are trying to run the football, and like your 2 leading pass yardage wise players for to start up into your week 2 right now is Brock Purdy, number 1 with 540 yards passing, and Matthew Stafford, number 2 with 520 yards passing. That's only like 200 something yards a game. So, and that's your leaders right now, and that just shows you teams are running the football more. And defenses, that and also teams suck at passing too. Good God. I mean, this rookie quarterback class, they said through 2 games, they have 0 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a horrible quarterback rating. That's between Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May doesn't count, he ain't playing, and Bo Nix. Between them 3 quarterbacks, holy shit, it's been a shit show. It's been a shit show.
It has. It has. Again, folks, we are live here on the Sports Show here on YouTube at youtube.com/Nation Sports Show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And I think that's pretty much all I can think of as far as the rundown, because all the other games, I ran down those scores before you came on, but I wanted to hit those big games with you. Oh, real quick to piggyback. Bills and Dolphins. Tua turned the ball over. That
his name is Tua turned the ball over with another pick. No, but in all seriousness, I told Adam, my buddy Adam, I told him at the Raider game Friday night, I was talking, I said, you know what? I like this Bills team this year more than I liked the Bills team last year, because with Stephon Diggs being a drama queen in Buffalo, crying for attention, this and that, Buffalo basically catered to him. This year, it's all hands on deck. You never know what they're going to do. They can run the ball with Cook. They can pass the ball. Josh Allen can take the ball. Their defense is playing very well. And there's also 3 more things that happen in life: death, taxes, and the Miami Dolphins getting on by the Buffalo Bills because they're 1-8 in their last 9 games against Buffalo. So, yeah. And as far as Tua is concerned, dude, I think it's about time for him to hang it up, man. I think that's 1 concussion too many. He's flirting with messing the rest of his life up. I don't think that's why when you're a player, you fight for these fully guaranteed contracts so you can get your money, because shit like that is what ruins your life. Yeah, shit like that is what ruins your life, man. And I hope Tua's okay. I really do. I hate to see that for any player. You can be on the Cowboys. I'm gonna hope you're okay, because that's just
right.
That I never want to see somebody hurt like that. But the sad part about it all is Tua did not hit him hard. Tua literally fell into DeMar Hamlin's arm and instantly paralyzed himself for a split second. That hit was barely a hit. So that just tells me his head is so vulnerable. He can barely touch it and he's going to be knocked out. And that's the sad reality of it. And there's 3 letters that he needs to avoid. CTE. We've seen that with so many players and how it's affected their life. We've seen so many people, like the late great Junior Seau. I mean, he was in a bad mental spot from CTE. We've seen guys like that. We've seen other professional athletes, professional wrestlers, things like that suffered from CTE, and it's really fucked their life up. So if I'm Tua, I'm thinking long and hard about my future as an NFL quarterback.
And if I'm Tua Tagovailoa, my life is more important than the game of football, because that is the one thing that Tua does not need, is to have these, to have these memories and these things that he loves gone because of the game of football. Because we've seen football players' memories when taking these violent hits, being fragile,
Yep.
and all the things that they've done, gone. I mean, and also the game of football has caused players, to suffer from these diseases, like the great Steve Mongo McMichael. I mean, with the Lou Gehrig disease, like it's awful. I mean, it's a violent sport. I mean, yes, we love the game of pro football. We love the game of football. But at the end of the day, our health, our happiness is more important than the game of football, because we've seen what CTE does, like you said, Kevin, to pro wrestlers, to football players, to hockey players, to boxers, to MMA fighters. We've seen what it does. And Tua needs to avoid that, because honestly, even though he has a great, receivers to throw to, he needs to reevaluate himself, I think, after this year. Because we said it on the show. Yeah, you're paying him all this money, but he's not worth the money if he can't stay healthy on the field.
Yep. At this point, he needs to take a page out of the good old Peyton Manning book. Peyton Manning, when he went to get sacked, he never tried to escape. He just fell to the ground. He said, "Nope, you're not going to hit me." And he laid down. He took the sack. He said, "Ah, damn it, I'm just going to lay down. I'm not going to take a hit." He just laid down and called it a day and got ready for the next play. That's really something Tua could think about doing too. Like, you know what, I'm about to get? Nope, I'm going to just take a knee. You're not going to hit me. Or first of all, I got to say this, even though we said what we had to about Tua and hope he's okay and genuine about concerned about him, why the fuck didn't you get down? Tua, you know your
Good point.
body. You know your body. You know you've had 4 concussions in the last 3 years, 1 back to back. You get down. Why are you diving head first? You know you picked up the first down. Slide, feet first. DeMar Hamlin was not even trying to hit you. He was going to grab you. You landed into his arm and knocked yourself out. Get down, Tua. There's no reason for that. While you're out there scrambling and hitting people. Come on, dude. Stop this stuff.
No, you can't. You can't be doing that. I mean, when you're putting yourself at harm's way, you're just asking for it.
Yep, especially
You're
with
asking for it.
especially with his already risk of concussions and CTE. I mean, come on, dude. Your family needs you. Just stay up healthy. Stay upright. I don't know. I do think that's also a big blow to the Dolphins. I don't know if now, wow, man, Skylar Thompson is your option. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I
That's a
tell you
good.
what I would honestly do, and I know we shit on him because I don't know if you talked about the news about Bryce Young being benched in
Yeah, I brought it
Carolina.
up. I brought it up briefly.
But you know
But
what?
yeah.
If I'm Miami, I'm looking into that a little bit. Not saying, oh, I think Bryce Young's really great and he's a superstar. But I'm just saying, look what Sam Darnold did after he left Carolina. Look what Baker's doing right now after he left Carolina. It's
Mm-hmm.
not all Bryce Young. I'm sorry. He should have not have been the first round pick. He should have not have been a first overall pick. I get that. He was drafted way too
Mm-hmm.
high. He was overrated for that spot. But he can't. He did his thing at Alabama, so he's got some kind of potential. But when you're at Carolina and you give the guy no hope, and it's basically a dead place like the Cleveland Browns 2.0, he's not going to have a chance. Miami has an offensive system that can fit his quarterback style
Great
because
call.
it's the San Francisco offense. Like, you could put average quarterbacks in there and at least get decent play. I mean, we've won how many games with Jimmy Garoppolo? I'm pretty sure Bryce Young can be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So put him in that
Mm-hmm.
Miami system. Let's see what he got. Get the ball to Tyreek on screens, let him do the work. Get the ball to Jalen Waddle on screens, let him do the work. Get the ball out to Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, guys like that. He could succeed. I
Because you
mean, if
know
I'm
what? That's a great
Miami, I'm
call, Kev.
calling.
That's a great call, Kev, because if Bryce Young, who has been in the shackles of Carolina's football hell since
Yep.
last year in the 23 draft, if he can leave David Tepper's clutches of that organization, which that to me, and I said it before you came on, the Carolina Panthers right now, it is the worst abomination of a NFL franchise ever. It's the
Yep.
worst. And if
It's
Bryce Young can
Cleveland
leave this
Browns
football hell,
2.0.
yep. Say the team again.
It's the Cleveland Browns 2.0.
I
We've
agree.
seen look what Cleveland's done to quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield leaves Cleveland to Carolina. He's balling in Tampa Bay. 4 touchdowns week 1. Then look what happens when Deshaun Watson comes to Cleveland. He goes from a top-notch quarterback to this guy might be one of the worst 5 quarterbacks in the league.
And it's one of the
That's
worst.
Cleveland.
And it's one of the worst contracts ever in pro sports.
Sam Darnold goes from sucking on the Jets, which is another one, sucking on the Jets, going to Carolina, sucking, going to San Francisco, getting rehabilitated, then going to Minnesota, throwing bombs on everybody. That's just what it is.
Yep. And speaking of the Jets, before we get to our week 3 predictions, give your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers' second game with the Jets. And you did say during this game, during our Facebook chat, that when he is on, like he uncorked that deep ball. When he is on, it's one of the most beautiful thrown balls you'll ever see.
I don't question Aaron Rodgers. I don't question Brees Hall. I question the offense. I question Nathaniel fucking Hackett. Oh my God! Someone should investigate him for potential gambling because there's no way someone is this bad at calling an offense. Like I think they would be better with another offensive coach because Nathaniel Hackett is not it. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't know. They're not calling a good game plan. They nearly let the fucking Tennessee Titans beat them. It's the Titans. I was sure that they were going to win by at least over 10 points. It's the Titans. And Nathaniel Hackett finds a way not to get Brees Hall involved, not to get Garrett Wilson involved. But who gets involved? Alan Lazard. What? You got a first-round wide receiver, a first-round running back, and you want to throw the ball to Aaron's buddy from Green Bay, Alan Lazard? You should be ashamed of yourself, Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, my God. No wonder damn Robert Saleh ain't got no hair left. He's damn stressed out. He pulled all his hair out dealing with that offensive coach. He's like, damn, I'm trying to worry about my defense, and you can't even score 10 points. Give me an offense, please. Holy cow, dude.
Give me something to work with.
I will say the Jets had a better defensive effort this game, though.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't go give up 200 yards rushing.
Oh, boy. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to our favorite segment of the week. And yes, unfortunately, because of work schedules and dealing with traffic and obligations to do with Ezra, Mike, and Joey are not on tonight. But don't you worry, I have their scores right here on my notes, and me and Kevin are here to give our predictions here on the show. And up first, it is Thursday Night Football. It is the Patriots going into MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets.
Oh, boy. Well,
and Mike, I'll go ahead and start out with Mike's score. Mike has the Jets winning 28-10 over the Patriots.
Man, I'll go ahead and read mine real quick. I don't know what I think about this one, man. I've watched the Jets not underachieve, but at the same time, I've watched the Patriots overachieve. The Patriots were one play away from upsetting the Seattle Seahawks and being 2-0. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick the New England Patriots to outcoach the New York Jets. I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna pick it, and I think it's gonna be a close one and a defensive battle again. I'm gonna go to score they had with Tennessee last week, but I'm gonna go the opposite. 2017 Patriots over the Jets.
Oh, and Ezra is joining you on the pick. He has the Patriots winning 24-13.
Jesus Christ, he just don't like Aaron Rodgers. That's what that's all about. That's all. There ain't no, all right, Jesus, I don't know about all that. He just don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Check this name out.
Oh, no.
Joey has the New York Aarons. Fucking great. He has the New York Aarons beating the Patriots 23-16. And I'm going to go with the Jets as well. I don't feel great because the Patriots have looked pretty good these last couple weeks. I'm going to go with the Jets to beat them barely 20-16.
Okay. Only reason I picked the Patriots because I here's the thing. If the Patriots are this competitive with that lack of talent on their roster, I think that speaks about that new coach, Gerard Mayo. I think he's a pretty good coach because there's only certain teams that can win with not much talent on their football team, and that's people with good coaches. I mean, you can win a couple games just off of coaching, and that's what I think the Patriots did. So I think Gerard Mayo is going to outcoach Robert Saleh on this game.
If I'm going by the schedule, I believe the next game is the Browns and the Giants.
Oh boy, hey, this,
Oh
this one,
boy.
this one I don't feel good about either. One of these damn teams. Are we going to get Deshaun Watson that's average, or are we going to get the Deshaun Watson that just left the massage parlor and sucks? Oh
I'm going to
man.
start with Joey's. This is fantastic. He has the Browns beating the Danny Dime Floppers 16-10.
Oh boy.
Danny Dime's Floppers 10. Freaking great.
Yeah, I don't feel good about this. Okay, I'm gonna go next. I got the Browns beating the Giants in a pure dog shit of a game. Dog shit at the dog pound. Give me the Browns 10-7.
Ezra's going to pick the Browns 20-7.
A little more offense.
And Mike has the Browns beating the Giants 17-3. I'm going to follow suit with the Browns as well. I'm going to go with the Browns 14-6.
Ugly game. Oh man,
Ugly.
that shit's ugly.
Let's see.
It'll make you want to look at your screen and say, "Oh, I'm gonna take a leak. These teams suck."
Next, we have the Bears going against the Colts in Indianapolis.
Oh, Bears go. Oh shit, that I don't trust these teams either. What? Can we get to some trustworthy games? That's so hard to call. The
I'm
Colts
going to
let
get
me
this
down
one
last
going.
week.
Colts are going, or Joey's going with the Colts to beat the Bears 20-17. Ezra has the Bears 23-21. And Mike has Chicago winning 21-17.
Okay, I'm gonna. This is another game that has not a goddamn bit of offense. I'm going with the Bears 15-13 over the Colts. Oh my God! Can we get some? Can we get a 30-point game one time in this show? Oh,
You know what? Give me the Colts. I don't trust either one of these two teams. It's a pick 'em at this point. Give me the Colts. Give me the Colts 17-14.
yeah. Did I say Bears or Colts?
You said Bears.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with the Bears. Fuck it. I don't feel good.
Let's see. Next is the Texans going into Minnesota to take
Okay,
on
now
the
there's a little
Vikings.
more trustworthy game. Oh man, this one's tough to call, man. This one's really tough. In Minnesota? Oh man,
In Minnesota.
a U.S. Bank. Oh man, this one's so hard to call.
Oh, and they're both undefeated. That's what's crazy is they're both undefeated.
Man,
Damn.
and the sad part about it is Houston has not played to their standard from last year, and Minnesota has actually overachieved from last year with a backup quarterback. So
Man, this is so
you know
tough.
what? I like the little role Minnesota went on. They got a lot of momentum beating the 49ers. But I believe this will be their emotional letdown game. They got emotional. They're hyped up singing Many Men by 50 Cent after they beat the 49ers in the locker room. They act like they're winning the Super Bowl. They're jumping around doing cartwheels. Yippee! Yippee! I think this is an emotional letdown game. And I'm going to go with that Texans defense. I think that Texans defense makes a big stop in crunch time and forces a Sam Darnold likely turnover. Give me the Texans 21-18.
Okay. Mike is going the opposite route. He's going same kind of score in close game. Close game, excuse me. Mike is going with the Vikings to beat the Texans 24, Houston 21. Ezra is going with the Texans 27-20.
Mm.
And then Joey is also going with the Texans 27-17. I'm going to follow suit. I just think this Houston's defense is better. And I think their offense, even though they haven't played to their high standards yet, I still think they have a better offense. That's why I'm going to roll with Houston to barely squeak by. I'm going to go Houston 27-21.
Hey.
Next, we have the Eagles going into the Big Easy and facing the 2-0 New Orleans Saints.
You know what? Let me go ahead and start this one out. I think this one goes to overtime. Give me in overtime the Saints 29-26 on a game.
Oh, okay.
You can't stop the run. Guess what? Alvin Kamara is going to feast on you.
You know what, Kev? I'm feeling froggy, so I'm going to jump. Give me the Saints to beat the Eagles 30-17.
Ooh, 2-possession game. Vegas ain't gonna.
And everybody else is going against us. Okay, so Mike is going with the Eagles 35-28.
Okay.
No, I beg to differ. Ezra
Different,
is following suit with us. Ezra is picking the Saints 28, the Eagles 24. And
Oh.
Joey is going with the Saints. I'm sorry, the Eagles 24 to 20 over the Saints.
Mm.
So this will be interesting.
Ooh. Yes.
Next game is the 2-0 Chargers going in to face the 2-0 Steelers.
At some point, the Steelers' offense has been pure dog shit. So it's not the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh defense, because that's the only damn thing that's playing for these guys. I think I'm going with the Jim Harbaugh team. Again, like the New England situation, good coaching makes a difference. And Harbaugh has got this offense with J.K. Dobbins a second chance at life in the NFL and Justin Herbert rolling. Give me Harbaugh in a low-scoring affair again against the Steelers, 14-9.
Joey is going with and these are his words, not mine, the Harbaugh cheaters over the Steel Curtains, 22-13. Ezra is going with the Chargers as well, 20-14. I'm going to follow suit and go with the Chargers as well. I'm going to go with the Chargers 20. Let's see. 20-10. 20-10.
Oh, okay.
Next on the schedule, we have. Let me scroll. Broncos at the Bucks.
Oh boy. You know what? I'm going to call it right now. It's going to be the wackiest score of the day.
Oh boy.
17-0 Bucks. Fuck it. Shut out. If this defense does what they did to the Lions, this defense ain't going to get the ball past the 40 to the damn Broncos. 17-0 Bucks.
Let's see. Joey has the Bucks beating the Mile High Weaklings 31-10. I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well. I think they are rolling. I'm gonna go with the Bucks to beat Denver. I'm gonna go 23-3.
Ooh.
And Ezra is going to go.
I didn't see Ezra score. Yeah, I don't
No,
see
he
Ezra
didn't. He did
score.
not get that score. You're right.
It's so bad. It might be 0-0 tie. Yeah.
Mm, let me
Baker throws 5 picks.
let's see. While I look on that for him and get his score. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, anyways, moving on down the schedule. Okay, yeah, moving on down. Good call. I did not see that score either. But we'll get that here in a few minutes. I believe the next one. Yep. Titans and the Packers.
Another low scoring affair. Oh my god. You know what? Damn, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Oh man. I'm gonna go with the Packers in a low scoring affair. 16-13 Packers.
Okay, you guys are following kind of suit with some of these scores. Ezra is going with the Packers as well. 17, the Titans 10. Mike is going with the Packers as well, 24-13. Ezra is going with the Packers as well, 17-7. And I'm going to go with Green Bay as well. I'm going to go Green Bay 20-7. Next, we have the Raiders hosting the 0-2 Panthers.
Oh boy.
The boys, right. I'll go ahead and start with Mike's score. He's got, this is being too generous, Mike. I'm sorry, brother. Hijacker's got the Raiders beating the Panthers 24-10.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a wacky score. I'm gonna pick too. It's not gonna be a shutout. The reason why. Give me the Raiders 17, the Panthers 2 on a safety.
Hijacker will be so happy for his
Gardner
safety.
Minshew runs out the back of the end zone.
Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. Where is it? There it is. Joey has the Raiders beating the Sir Baby Pussycats, the 6, 27-6 over the Panthers.
Ouch. Damn. Ouch.
Next. We have the Dolphins going into the 12th man to face Seattle.
Oh man. With Tua, I think the Dolphins come out with the win. But no Tua, I think Seattle's gonna squeak another one by. Give me Seattle 23-20.
Yeah, give me Seattle. You know what? Same score, 23-20 Seattle. Hijacker has the Seahawks beating the Dolphins 24-21. Ezra has the Dolphins winning 24-20.
Yeah,
And
I hope that's
Joey
true.
has Seattle winning 14-13 over the Dolphins. Next we have the Lions going into the desert to face Arizona.
Man, I'm gonna start this one out. I think this one's gonna be a shootout. I really do. I think Detroit is not going to lose 2 straight. I think they knock Arizona down a couple notches. Give me the Lions 38-35.
Man, I love what you're thinking with this game. I'm going to go with Detroit in a shootout. I got Detroit winning 34-30 on a game-winning touchdown drive. Hijacker is going with Arizona 21-20. Love that score. Ezra is going with the Lions 31-24. And let me go to Joey. Joey has the Lions as well. 31, the Cardinals 24. Same score, 31-24. Let's see. Next. Again, folks, we are live here on YouTube at youtube.com/Nation Sports Show, where we are doing right now our week 3 prediction battles. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we are live at YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And moving on to the next game, we have the Ravens going into AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World, to face them Cowboys.
Oh, man. Both teams desperately need a win. But you know what? I think the Cowboys are going to give the world something to talk about yet again, because I think they drop another home game after 2 years in a row, undefeated at home. I think they struggle again. The Ravens cannot start out 0-3. In the AFC North, where Pittsburgh is 2-0, Cincinnati might be getting their get back this week, and Cleveland could be 2-1. I don't think the Ravens can afford to drop it. I think this is a Lamar Jackson statement game. Give me the Ravens 37-21.
Joey is picking the Ravens over the Alice Cowboys, in parentheses, since they don't play defense, 27-20. Ezra is picking. Let me find his pick. He's going with the Ravens as well. 30-21. Baltimore over Dallas. And I'm going with Baltimore as well, because they cannot afford to lose another game in a row. Give me Baltimore to go into Dallas and put a whooping on the Cowboys, 34-20. And Mike's score for this game, 31-28.
Oh, hey, Steven, Ezra picked the Bucks over Denver 21-10, by the way.
Got it. So we got all those scores for that. Hold on, let me clarify that. Where's it at? Ravens. There it is. Yep, Ravens 31, Cowboys 28. Yep. Okay, moving on. San Francisco going into Los Angeles to face the Rams.
Well, it technically ain't in L.A. It's technically in Levi South, because that's what
you got a point there.
I think it's going to be the same thing. I know we talk about the 49ers being beat up with Devon McCaffrey, but the Rams are more beat up than us. They got 13 players out. No Puka Nacua, no Kyron Williams, no Cooper Kupp. 3 of their offensive linemen's out. No John Johnson. No starting corner. 2 starting linebackers out. I think the 49ers are going to take this one relatively easy. I think Jordan Mason breaks. I think he has a 2-touchdown, 150-yard game. I think they're going to get back to running the ball. And give me the 49ers over the Rams, 27-10.
Okay. I'm going to go with San Francisco as well. I'm going to go San Francisco 27-14. Hijacker Mike is going with San Francisco 27-16. Ezra is going with the Niners 23-21. And Joey as well is going with the Niners. Let me get his score. Yep, 27, the Rams 24. Next, Sunday Night Football in Hotlanta, the Chiefs and the Falcons.
Oh, give me a break. Atlanta, you got lucky against the damn Pittsburgh chokers. Not going to happen against the Chiefs. I think Mahomes has one of his patent get back. Holy cow, 300 yards games. I think Kelsey breaks out again. I think, give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs 31-17.
I like that score. I'm going to go a little similar. I'm going to give the Falcons 3 less points. I'm going to go Chiefs 31-14. Let's see. Hijacker is going with the Chiefs 35, the Falcons 24. Ezra has the Chiefs beating the Falcons as well, 34-20, and Joey has the Chiefs beating the you like that. He's got them beating them 30-16. Monday night, we have not one but two games. Up first, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Buffalo Bills. Hijacker has the Bills winning in this one, 28 to Jacksonville 17.
Okay.
Ezra has the Bills winning as well, 30-14. And let me go to Joey's score. Joey is going with the Bills, 34 to beat the Trevor Banks Stadium Jokers, 17.
Yeah, well. Oh man. I think the Bills will handle the polka dotted pussycats with blonde hair, Jacksonville Jugs. Give me the Bills 28-10.
You know what? Give me Buffalo 28-14. And finally, Monday Night Football concludes with its second game in Cincinnati in the jungle. It is the Bengals hosting the Washington Commanders.
Oh. That's tough.
Ooh, some of these scores are good. Hijacker has the Bengals winning 20-13 over the Commanders. Ezra has the Bengals winning as well, 27-23. And Joey says in his picks, Bengals 28-24 in parentheses. We actually score touchdowns this time.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna I don't agree with that. I don't think they'll score touchdowns. I think the Bengals, just like the Ravens, cannot start 0-3. I think you're in a division. You got to play catch up, and I think they're going to come out with their hair on fire, and I think they're going to come out with blonde hair. No pun intended to Joe Burrow and AKA Cody Rhodes, but I digress. Give me the Bengals. I think their defense locks it down. Give me the Bengals 23-7.
Adrenaline in his soul. Something Joe Burrow. Give me the Bengals to win as well. They cannot afford to go down 0-2 or 0-3 because, as we all know, when they have been in this situation, 9 times out of 10, they have responded with a victory. Give me Cincinnati to beat up on the Commanders 24-6. And that right there will conclude our week 3 predictions for this season. It'll be interesting to see how we do this week because last week we were not great.
Not at all.
We were not great at all. Not great.
Well, no, not us not being great. I think Vegas has a lot to do with that shit because I read a stat on ESPN. Teams that were favored by 5.5 points or more are 1-12 against the spread. Not good, including Philadelphia, San Francisco, Dallas, Baltimore. You name it, they blow it. Seattle, that's just how it was against the spread. Even though Seattle won, they only won by 3 technically, so New England won the spread. Again, 1-12 against the spread. If you're a gambling man, do not bet the spread on anybody that's favored more than 6 points. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to hit.
Nope. If you are not a betting man or woman, you are wise.
And I'll tell you one more thing. Don't bet on the fucking Dallas Cowboys because they done fucked my parlay up by the first quarter. I'll never bet on you again, motherfucker. I'll never bet again. I will never bet for you damn fools again. You always lose when I need you to win. Good job, bums.
Hey, I'm glad you're not betting on these buffoons when it's the playoffs.
Oh, no. I know better then. I don't care if they're playing Carolina Panthers. They're going to find a way to lose that game 3-0.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh yeah, week 3 is going to be interesting, and it is interesting, talking about this whole Bryce Young situation because Bryce Young, if he does end up leaving Carolina, it might do his career good things because he needs to get out of there badly.
See, here is the key mistake that when I'll say this before I get off. Bryce Young, or the Carolina Panthers, excuse me, they have done something when Bryce Young came in that other teams don't. Normally, when you go get a quarterback, you want to get him some weapons and some help. Carolina gave away the weapons and the help to get Bryce Young. That's like trading your car for gas money. Like, oh, I'm going to sell my car because I need gas money. Now I ain't got a fucking car. Same way with Bryce Young. Oh, I'm going to sell my receiver so I can get a quarterback. Now I ain't got a damn receiver for my quarterback to throw to. Same situation. While other teams, cough, the Houston Texans draft C.J. Stroud, they go out, trade for Stephon Diggs. Nico Collins was already there. You draft Tank Dell. You bring in Joe Mixon. You bring in Dalton Schultz. You bring in some help. Other teams like that. You see what they got going on in San Francisco. You even Jalen Hurts. You bring in Saquon Barkley. You look at teams like that. Like, they're always, these young quarterbacks are always getting some help. And Carolina's just like, no, you know what? Fuck it. You take DJ Moore. We don't want him. Fuck it. Bryce Young can throw to 80-year-old Adam Thielen, who looks like he needs to be in a retirement home. Go ahead.
Oh, real quick, Kev, before you get off, I do want to bring this up, and I forgot to bring this up during the Eagles collapse last night on the show from last night. During that game, a couple of things that hit me during this game. The Eagles defense last night, when it mattered the most, crumbled under pressure. Saquon Barkley dropping that pass on Atlanta's side of the field. If he catches that ball, it's a first down. Game is over. You can ice the ball, and the game is over.
Yep.
Third thing on the game, and then the press conference. Third thing on that Atlanta drive. Kirk Cousins made that look so easy. Driving the ball down Atlanta's throats. Throwing that ball, knowing that they had to throw the ball. They couldn't run the ball. He had wide open lanes to throw to. That Eagles defense was as soft as my blankets on my bed. They could not cover nobody if their lives were on the line. That defense looked bad. And
you're right. And Kirk Cousins was all over that defense too. He was all over that defense like diapers on a baby's ass.
And it looked like the roles were reversed too, because it was primetime Kirk not choking, and it was primetime Hurts no pun intended, hurting the Eagles'
I think they
offense.
said what happened was Atlanta, one of the equipment managers for Atlanta, changed the time to 1:00 on Kirk Cousins' Rolex, so he thought it was 1:00 in the afternoon. So he started balling. That's the only explanation for primetime Kirk coming out there. 3/4 he sucked, and then all of a sudden Kirk O'Chains comes out in the fourth quarter and dices them up. But
But the
yeah,
big thing, the
I
big
was gonna
thing
say
before,
Saquon Barkley catch, the one he dropped.
yeah.
Someone said, you know what? You could take Saquon out of the Giants, but you can't take the Giants out of Saquon. Good job representing the Giants right there with that
And you
drop.
know what's funny too, Kev? He still has not won a game in Lincoln Financial Field.
Nope.
But the funniest thing about Saquon last night was that press conference. I'm sorry, but dude, did this not remind you of Terrell Owens crying like a baby? That's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback. Saquon was crying like a little baby. And he was like, Jalen came to me and said, "You had it, man. You had it." You know, he was all emotional. When we lost the game. We lost the game.
I
Like,
did see something funny talking about, they showed a picture talking about Jalen Hurts for 3/4, and it was a picture of Jalen Hurts. Then it said Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter with the game on the line, and it had Jalen Hurts merged with Russell Westbrook. Talking about it's Russell Westbrook with the game on the line. Brick. Oh man, that was really coaching though, man. Coach, they should have not thrown the damn ball on third down. At the very least, run the ball. You could have still ran a minute off. How likely was
yes,
it for Kirk Cousins?
exactly.
How likely, even if you got stopped and kicked the field goal, they would have got the ball with like 55 seconds precisely to go. No
Yes,
timeout.
that's a
There's no
great
damn way.
point.
You could have literally played prevent defense then. Kirk might have got one Hail Mary at the end that normally 98.2% of the time does not hit. So why didn't you just run the ball? Keep it safe.
Exactly.
Run the damn ball. Oh, and that tush push shit does not work no more since Jason
Nope.
Kelsey retired. That damn thing has come to an end. Do not run that shit because it doesn't work.
Nope. It doesn't work anymore.
You mean to tell me Philly was all hype pregame? Jason Kelsey up there in his damn Philadelphia tuxedo saying Philly by 50. Nick Foles was out there jacking up the crowd. Philly was pumped. Philly was determined they're going to win by 50. Then Philly blows the lead and loses by a damn 1 point. Good job, Philadelphia. I hope you Eagles fans are about as annoying as damn Cowboy fans. You blew it. You blew it. Point blank period. You blew it. There is no world in any kind of world that the Falcons are a better football team than the Philadelphia Eagles. There's no world. And
The Eagles
you blow it.
The Eagles should have won this game single-handedly. They should have won this game. They had this game in the bag, and they found a way to lose this game.
Yep. You know what? Philly's flaws were never fixed in the offseason. Their flaws were the defensive front seven. God awful.
And their god-awful defensive coordinating. I mean, their defensive coordinator is still horrible, even though it's not Matt Patricia.
Yeah, Vic Fangio thinks he's still in San Francisco in 2012 with Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. You don't have those guys no more. You can't just play two safeties back. Stop the damn run. And I don't know.
Why do you think the majority of us are picking the Saints? Because the Saints have a running back. They have a coaching scheme that's been working the last 2 weeks. They can run the ball.
They run the outside zone Shanahan West Coast scheme. That's gonna be a problem for Philadelphia. It was a problem for Philadelphia when San Francisco played them last year. It's gonna be a problem again this year. And while Philadelphia, you need to fix your house up and you're out there buying Lamborghinis, basically. You need to fix the defense and you go out there and sign Saquon. Oh, we need a running back. Sign Saquon. No, you need to sign defensive players. You need to fix that front seven. You haven't done it. And you know what? That's the thing. Especially when Philadelphia plays good offensive teams, especially like the 49ers. The 49ers like to do something just like somewhat the Cowboys like to do. They like to put your linebackers in conflict. Your linebackers have to be good at reading plays. And if they're not, Kyle Shanahan is going to dice you up. And that's exactly what that scheme is about. putting linebackers in conflict. Do you stop the run or you stop back on the pass? If you go to stop the run, we're going to hit a play action and throw the ball all over you. If you back up on the pass, we're just going to run the damn ball right down your throats. That's what that scheme is designed to do to the linebackers. The Eagles have no linebackers. They're going to get diced up the same way they were diced up at San Francisco last year. That's why I got the Saints winning that game, because they run the same thing. Derek Carr's going to have to read it. I mean, he's had his damn off games, but if Derek Carr plays consistent and plays decent, they could dice the Eagles up. They could dice the Eagles up, the linebacker core. They could dice them up with Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams. It's very possible.
The way Philadelphia is playing right now, they are not going to be representing the NFC East. Like,
No.
they are very fragile. The way they're playing, like, Jalen Hurts has not been playing like the Jalen Hurts who took this team to the brink of a Super Bowl title a couple of years ago.
Yep.
This Eagles team is very fragile. And also, it doesn't help that A.J. Brown wasn't playing in the game last night. He was out. So you had one reliable wide receiver in Devontae Smith, and then your tight end Dallas Goedert. Other than that, who else did you have to throw to besides Smith and Goddard?
I'll tell you another little secret about Jalen Hurts before I get off. It's been clear, and anybody can see that A.J. Brown made Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts was average before A.J. Brown got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Then Jalen Hurts has that MVP-like season. Then last night, A.J. Brown doesn't play, and Jalen Hurts only throws for 170 yards passing. I'm just saying, A.J. Brown literally made Jalen Hurts who he is.
You got a point there.
A.J. Brown's a very good receiver, and they definitely missed his presence last night.
Definitely.
Well, Steven, I'm gonna get off here on the show and get ready to get my little girl to bed. And
all right, man. We'll see you for next week, man.
Hopefully, we all don't have Carolina Panther records coming out, the record prediction for next week, because I would hate to go like 2-14. That suck. But we shall see. I hope everybody has a good night, and we'll see. We'll see what this dreadful record will be next week, coming into the week 4 going on next week.
That's right. Thank you for joining me tonight, brother, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. Anyways, folks, thank you for Kevin Roy for joining me tonight here on the Sports Show. Again, we have been live tonight here on a Nation Sports Show for another great show. You can follow us on Twitter at ON_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and we have been live tonight here on YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff to all your family and your friends who love the world of sports. And again, follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook at Nation's Corner, and YouTube.com/The Nation's Corner, where they are live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. What a great show with you guys here tonight. And I do want to touch upon briefly on wrestling from last night, because Monday Night Raw last night was another great show. And CM Punk's promo last night was outstanding. The way he spoke in that tone, the way it was the same delivery. He did not raise his cadence at all. It was the same delivery in that promo. I am so excited for Punk and McIntyre, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. 27 years to the literal date of the first Hell in a Cell between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. And then obviously last night you had the whole Judgment Day stuff with Rhea and Liv and Dominic and Finn and Damian Priest. I mean, just good stuff. Good stuff last night. I mean, just really, 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 really good stuff. And then obviously on SmackDown, you had Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Highlighted on SmackDown this past Friday on the first SmackDown of the USA Network era of SmackDown, returning to USA. It was Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in a steel cage match. Cody retains the championship, and the Bloodline attack Cody. And Roman comes out, and Solo and Jacob Fatu are like, yeah, we'll sign a contract to face Cody and Roman at Bad Blood. They signed it, and all night long they were panning the Nick Aldis in the back, and and Kathy Kelly, and they were like, is Cody, you gonna sign? He said, I ain't gonna sign. I'm done with the bloodline. Roman comes out. He said, this is my WWE. Cody comes out. And he was like, it was your WWE. And then here comes the bloodline. I'm just paraphrasing off the top of my head. And then the bloodline comes out, and they they were like, is he gonna sign? Is he gonna sign? He ain't gonna sign. He don't like you. Roman obviously signed a contract. He said, obviously, Roman said before Cody came out, I don't need Cody Rhodes. I'll take him on by myself. Cody came out, and the bloodline was like, are you gonna sign? He ain't gonna sign it. He don't like you. Cody still signed the contract. I am so intrigued where that's going. I mean, just, man, WWE right now is just hitting it hard, hitting it heavy, hitting all good stuff. And Hell in a Cell, or excuse me, Bad Blood will be October 5th in Atlanta, Georgia. That card is looking really, really good. And looking forward to see where they go with this stuff on SmackDown and Raw of next week. And WWE just keeps trucking along. And again, folks, thank you for tuning in tonight for another great show, The Sports Show. Thank you to Kevin for joining me tonight. Thank you to Joey. Thank you to Ezra. And thank you to Mike for sending in their scores. And looking forward to this week 3 schedule in the NFL to see how that goes. And should be some really good games this weekend. Should be some very interesting scores. We'll see how we all do next week. As week 3 in the NFL is here. And it kicks off this Thursday with the Jets and the Patriots. And looking forward to another great weekend of football action across the professional league and across, of course, college and all that good stuff. Football's heating up. The baseball season is winding down. We're getting so close to the playoffs and all of that good stuff. And again, folks, don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at @Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we are live on most Tuesday nights at YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. And also don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook at Nation's Corner, and YouTube at The Nation's Corner. They are live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. And a great show with you guys tonight. Again, thank you for those that tune in tonight. And for those that tune in on demand, thank you very much as well. So with that being said, for KR, Kevin Rory, for JT, Joey Thornton, for Ezra Vickery, for our boy, Hijacker Mike, for Randy Gyron, for William Gyron, and everybody in between, I have been your host for this evening, Stephen Wyand. Thank you for tuning in to another great edition of our Nation Sports Show. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, same YouTube channel. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. Take care, everybody. Enjoy each other's company this week and the weekend. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the wrestling and enjoy the sports. Make lots of great memories. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. And we will see you back here next week live on YouTube.com for another edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Peace.